Hello, welcome. First of all, I want to introduce myself. My name's Holly, or Hollywood Jays, as I am online. And I kind of had the idea to start a podcast because I've been really enjoying a few podcasts lately. And I just thought I would love to listen to a podcast that kind of ticked all the boxes for what I do. Now, I am a creator. I also work in the gaming industry as a community manager. And I kind of wanted a place where I could kind of jot down my ideas, and also a place that perhaps I could have benefited from at the start of my journey, which is going back a few years now. Lockdown created me as a streamer. Check out what I do at Hollywood Jays on basically everything. And yeah, I just thought I'd start this podcast as a place to kind of note down things that I kind of pick up, things that I wish I knew, things that I want to discuss. And it might be interesting to those of you who are creating content, maybe thinking about creating content, or those of you that want to get into the gaming industry. You could already be creating content now, and it's just a place to kind of funnel those ideas and bring up those discussions that I kind of want to bring up, I guess. I work for Rebellion currently. I used to work for Xbox UK as a streamer, alongside streaming on my personal channel. So I've kind of, seen it from both sides of the coin. And I just find it really interesting looking around on social media at the different kind of creators that are out there and the different kind of paths that people go along. There's no correct path, I don't think. My path, obviously, I started streaming. I didn't think I'd start working in the gaming industry. I used to work in restaurants before I started streaming on Twitch. I hit that live button, as so many people say. And I just think, I don't know, my journey has been one of those that I am in the gaming industry and I'm very happy doing that. That was my path. A lot of people see the path of, I don't know, ninja and aspire to be the next ninja or something along those lines. And no path is wrong or right. It's just you've got to really choose and kind of work towards what you want to do. And I think in this industry anyway, and in the streaming industry, it can be very much a place where you compare yourself to others. And that to me is not the right not the right way to look at things, because it is so easy to do. It's so easy to compare yourself to others and to think, well, this isn't working for me. Why isn't this working for me? I'm doing everything that YouTube tutorial said. And just as a YouTube user, and now I don't really upload to YouTube. It's one of those things that I'm kind of like, I'll get to that. I must upload to YouTube. And I go through like a spat of like uploading a few Elden Ring playthroughs and then not bothering. But on my YouTube, when I log in, there is a multitude of videos suggesting this is the way to do it. This will get you views. Do this and it will work. There seems to be this easy remedy that people use, which clearly isn't true. I think is one of the points I wanted to bring up. I've got a journal down of all the things that I thought I want to talk about in the first episode of this podcast. I haven't even introduced it. It's talking games. I don't have an intro track, actually, just as a side note. If you do create very short clips of music and you think, you know what, I'm vibing with Holly, I've got a lovely 5-second intro, do shoot me a message on Twitter or X at Hollywood Jays. It's probably in the show notes. And let me know, because I'll credit you in the show. Okay, so back to the YouTube thing. One of the things I wanted to say was there's a reason why all those videos are kind of popping out at you, and that reason doesn't mean that the things that you're being told in the videos necessarily work. It's a popular video for people to watch because they are aimed at people wanting to be content creators. Therefore, they're saying very similar things, but, trying to reach an audience where you're ready to listen. So if I see a video saying you want to be a ninja, or you have to do X, Y, Z, you have to upload this much, you got to grind. I don't know, I just think it's, in my personal opinion, quite a negative way to look at it, because it can cause very difficult goals being set to you and set to yourself, like from your own personal goals that are really, really, really difficult. I mean, there's only one ninja, and I know I keep saying ninja, but it's a good. I feel like I'm picking someone that I know my nephews have always loved, and there is no remedy to be ninja. Otherwise, we'd have a world of ninjas. And I think that's really important to call back to. Is if it was easy, there would be no one viewer streams on Twitch. There would be no people that don't have any viewers. That wouldn't be the case if the videos worked. So I think it's very important to ground yourself, to think there is no quick and easy remedy. Otherwise, everyone would be doing it. I think that's really important. You might find joy in creating content that you enjoy. Build it and they will come is one of the phrases that it's in a film. I'm not going to lie. I don't think I've watched the film, but it's stuck with me, that phrase. I know what the film's about. I just never watched it. Okay, so I'm going down my list in my journal where I've jotted things down. And the comparing yourself to others was massive. It was the first thing I thought of when I thought, what am I going to talk about on this stream? Oh my gosh, look at me. I'm a streamer, aren't I? On this podcast. And the reason I did think of the podcast is because as I stream, I've cut down my streams quite a bit, actually. I used to stream 4 nights a week, then 3. And now I'm down to 2 after a little bit of a break. It's just my life's just changed. There's a few bits have gone on, and I've just had to, I don't know, I've kind of come to the conclusion that, you have to enjoy doing it. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to pump out that much energy. And I enjoy it, and I don't want it to go to beyond that point where I don't, because I'm drained and I've worked hard at my stream. I mean, when I was streaming an Xbox, I streamed 9 till 5 for them. An hour and a half journey in, an hour and a half journey out. And I'd literally get home, gulp down some food, and then start my stream at 7 p.m. till 10 p.m. and do the same thing again. So I've done my fair share of doing a lot. And I just got to this point where I enjoy what I do now. And I think, again, that comes from trying out different things. It has to work right for you, because the more you do it does not necessarily mean the more it's going to be successful, in my opinion. And there's that grind mindset that comes with streaming that is unhealthy. It's unhealthy. I mean, I have always called back to it. If you're going to start streaming, now you might be listening, you've been a streamer for a while, so this might be something you already know. But I think it's important to, if you had someone come up to you and said, I want to stream, it's not all about the grind, it's about having a set routine, in my opinion. If you do 1 stream, 2 streams, as long as you call back to a day, I'll see you next Monday, or I'll see you next Wednesday. I think that really got my stream anyway off the ground initially. When I was working in restaurants, I was doing such sporadic shifts. It was really hard to do the same night every week. And as soon as that changed, I started to see a lot of traction in my streams. I spend a lot of time on social media, and, through work and through my own personal interest in gaming. And there's a lot of negativity that floats around. And unfortunately, with the way X is at the moment, I find, looking through my timeline, that the most popular posts are the negative ones. Do you know what I mean? Like, I go down it and I'm like, oh, GTA trailer released. Oh, about the protagonist. And it's literally millions of impressions on these negative posts. And I don't know, I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about what I was going to say today to you in the podcast. And it's so easy to get drawn into that negative, oh my gosh, did you see that? And sharing and putting it in front of other people's eyes, and feeling like when you read that post and you're so annoyed and you share it, and you annoy 10 other people who are on your, and it just spreads that negativity. And one thing I was going to say as a bit of a call to action, and I'm trying to make a personal note of doing it, is see a post, it might have 0 likes, it might have nothing going on, but it might be, I made Twitch affiliate today, or I really love playing Minecraft, something so innocently lovely, and interact with it. Make your timeline a better place and make that person's day. So just try it. I'm trying to do it. I've set myself a task of trying to remember to take the time to appreciate the kind-hearted and the little things that you see on, say, for example, X, and just spread that joy, because I think it's really important. I mean, there's some days when a game comes out that I love, like, don't even talk to me about when The Last of Us 2 had come out. I didn't even go on Twitter at that point. I was like, I was in, I can't remember what I was doing. I was in work, and I said, I'm not looking at my phone today. I'm not looking at Twitter, because I'm not having that game trashed. Because at the time it was. And I feel like it's taken a weird turn, actually, on a bit of a tangent, that no one really talks about that time that everyone hated The Last of Us 2. Because I remember I streamed it at the time, and I had so many people come in and just try to be mean in the chat. And I remember I didn't go get out and ban them. I'd be like, why? Tell me. And I'd open that discussion, because it's fine to have your opinions. It's honestly fine. But honestly, a lot of people that had that opinion hadn't even played past that part. And if you've played the game, no spoilers, you know the part I'm talking about. I think another thing, I'm looking down my journal here, another thing that's important, and this is a bit, I'm like blurting out my journal here, so I might be jumping from point to point, but these were the points I wanted to bring to this first episode, and there will be more. I got to thinking that short form content is really exciting, and I love making it. Some, that thrill you get when you get views on your reel or your TikTok. But I heard someone say this recently, and it was, do you remember say, when you wake up in the morning, I do, I lay in bed, look down TikTok. Do you remember a video you watched this morning? Can you pick out one video and remember it truly? And if you can remember one video, because it might be a really funny, like, cat video, can you remember 2 of the videos you watched? Now stretch that back to last week. Do you remember any of the short form content that you watched that has stuck with you? I can't. Isn't that mad? Isn't that wild? Honestly, it blew me away, because I spend a lot of my time looking down my phone, more than I wish I did. That's a whole nother episode, talking about putting down the phone. But it really got me thinking, and that's actually why I started this podcast, because I heard that on a podcast, and it honestly floored me. It floored me. So long form content that really resonates, that really matters, that really gets to you, I think is really important. So like I said, I've journaled down notes. I'm going to sit myself down, hopefully once every 2 weeks is when I'm planning for this podcast to come out, and sit down and really reflect on the week or the 2 weeks. But yeah, that was a really interesting fact. I've written this down. You are capable of great content, and the content you make today will look so different in a month or in a year. I think this is important to think about, because the reason I say it is on Christmas and birthdays, my lovely community make me videos of my clips. And I was looking back through some of them, and it's obviously quite a nice snapshot of my content. And oh my gosh, I look back on my early streams fondly, but they were so different. And even my editing's grown. Obviously, I do a lot of editing at work. And the point I wanted to make, and going back to those YouTube tutorials of this is how you become a great streamer, is the people that you watch and that you admire doing, you admire their content. They have done all of that. They have done the cruddy videos, for want of a better word. They've been there. They've done the terrible lighting, the bad cameras, the fuzzy audio. They are at the level they are at because they have done that. There is no quick way to become a whiz at making content. There's no quick way to be a perfect streamer. There's no quick way. And those people have done it all. So you look at these people, you cannot compare yourself to the people that you watch because they've done it all. And I think that is something that you should think of and be kind to yourself, to know that there is no quick remedy. And if there was, as I said, everyone would be doing it. Everyone is improving, and those streamers you watch will be different in a year, different in 2 years, as you will be. You're just a little bit further behind than them because they potentially started. I think I enjoy watching Loser Fruit. I think Loser Fruit's been doing it for over 10 years. 10 years. It's a long time. I mean, don't quote me on that. I feel like I haven't even fact checked that. That is just coming out of my brain. I think that's true. Another fact that I heard it ages ago, and it's probably changed, and I noted this down as well because I remember reading it. It was something like if you have 6 viewers, you're in the top % of Twitch. Now, again, that could be wildly inaccurate. Tweet me if it is, or X me. What do you call it now? Tweet or X? You, as I said, do reach out to me because I'd love to know what you want to talk about on any feedback you've got on this, because I am literally just sitting here in my living room. I've just finished streaming. I've turned on Audacity and I'm talking into my microphone with my book open in front of me with no real structure. It's just coming out of my brain. One of the things that I can thank the whole lockdown for was getting into content and content creation, because I would never have taken the step to do it ever. I would never have left a secure job. I couldn't, like I said, I couldn't stream on the same day every week because I literally did not have, I used to work so many hours and I was really good at it. I was so good at it. And I'm not just saying that, I was, but I was unhappy. And it paid the bills and I had a great social life. But ultimately, I fell into it and I couldn't leave it. And then obviously everything ground to a halt and awful things happened in COVID. Awful things that I won't go into. But one of the main good things that come out of it was that I actually jumped into making content because I literally had nothing else to do. And I needed structure. I needed to feel like I was making some sort of difference and something to make me feel good and get out of bed in the morning. And that's where this happened. And I always used to have this recurring dream when I worked in a restaurant. And it would be, I was counting the tills or whatever. I'd always think of myself walking around at school. And I know it sounds so strange, but I would always have this recurring daydream of me walking down the corridor in year 7. I don't know what that, if you're in anywhere but the UK, I don't know what year 7 is. But I had this recurring thought of me strolling up and down, and I used to think, did I think I'd be doing this? Did I think I'm not saying there's anything wrong with working in restaurants, but it wasn't for me. It wasn't my it wasn't for me. I was good at it, but it didn't drive me. It didn't give me passion. It wasn't something that I loved. I truly loved, and I truly love my job now. I truly love streaming. And I just wanted to note that down, because I'm not saying, oh, run out and quit what you're doing. But what I'm saying is it's possible. It's possible to do things that you want to do. You just have to do them. And I'm not saying walk out and quit. But what I'm saying is, if you feel like that, then there is the chance that you can change that. I'm just grateful I was pushed off the wall of COVID rather than having to do it. But I truly believe I would have got there. It would have just been a different path. And like I said at the start of this is all about paths. I always believed I would be able to do it. I always believed I wouldn't be doing that. Like I said, it's not that it's bad. I just always believed I would find my thing. I would find and be able to put my creativity, my passion for games that I have had since I was a child into what I do day to day. And I have. And I feel very, 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 very lucky for that. It has taken a lot of hard work, dedication, but it didn't feel like that because I love doing it. Do you know? Time's a big thing for me, and organisation. So I think with being a content creator, unfortunately, it means you have to be organised and be good with your time. And it actually, thinking of this time thing, it got me thinking, I'm sure if you're like, you've got iStream on Twitch in your Twitter bio, you're going to have had DMs saying, hey, I can do your emotes, I can do this. Do you know what I was thinking? If those DMs, as you know, they are what they are, is someone who is making a living doing something that people need, right? If that was packaged to me saying, I can save you a lot of time, I think I would have run in with my PayPal details. Because the biggest thing to me with the whole streaming thing, especially now working full time in the gaming industry, is time. It's time to do things good. It's time to do things correctly. It's time to edit those videos. It's time to cut up those shorts. You know, it's something that I lack. And it is something that if somebody came to me with the solution that they could save me time and do a good quality job that I could trust that they were doing, I'd be sold. And it just got me thinking about that. But that organisation and time is something I really struggle with. Do you? I've downloaded Notion, and I keep seeing content creators say about Notion. I was like, you know what? I'll do it. I'll try anything at this rate. I'm trying it, and I've kind of bare bones record a podcast, put out the podcast. And I'm hoping it works. And if you were hearing this, it did. But yeah, organisation and time is huge because you need to put out quality content and at some sort of regular schedule. Streaming I've always enjoyed because I just sit down and just do it, and it's me, and I'm just sat there and I'm just chatting away, seeing all the gang, because you know what, without the gang I wouldn't be in the job I am today, because I mean, goodness me, the amount of joy, memories, bad times that I've got through, and they didn't even know it. So gang, if you're listening, thank you. But yeah, I can sit down on a stream, I turn it on, turn the computer on, sit there, have fun, play a game, press stop, turn the PC off. That to me is ideal world. That is like great. I just walk off, and then next time I stream, come back, sit down. It's everything else. It's cutting the videos. It's making the reels. It's making the TikToks. It's something that I can sit there and do it, and I might have a time where I'm like, yeah, I'm done it, and I've like scheduled a load of stuff, and I feel really good about it. But if I don't see results instantly, I'm done with it. Does anyone else feel like that? Like, with, for example, like I told you, go and look at it, the failed Elden Ring series. I just thought, oh, whatever. But that's the problem. You need to carry on and keep doing it in order to grow, right? To grow. But if I don't see results, I'm like, nah. And that is my hurdle that I have to contend with. But I'm glad I recognize it. But that's what I want to talk to you guys about. I want to talk to you about hurdles. Like, what do you find difficult? I find difficult as well playing a game and enjoying it and not thinking, oh, I wish I was streaming. That's another thing. I think with games, I've always loved them. I rarely pick up a game and just sit and enjoy it on my own because I think, oh, this would be great. The gang would love to watch me play this. And it's kind of, I don't know, I just don't do it. So that's another thing I'm going to try and do, as well as my being, interacting with nice posts. I'm going to try and start a game. And now hopefully by the next time you listen to the next episode, because there will be another one, because I'm not going to not stick at this, okay? You can come at me if I don't stick at the podcast. I'm going to try and start a game. And I'll tell you what game that is next time. Another thing that happened to me this week, I put up, here I go, I put up a couple of clips because I thought I'm really enjoying Call of Duty because it just recently came out. And I got so many negative comments on them. And actually, it doesn't bother me. And I put it up on my Instagram and I was laughing about it because I reply like, thanks, hun, when they're like, terrible clip, she can't play the game, things like that. And that, again, it's like full circle, actually. As I said at the start, the negative comments, I mean, seriously. And I just went back at them with like, thank you. I'm so happy I got a triple kill. Thanks, hun. Like, hun, it was obviously me being sarcastic, by the way. It's not my general, I don't use that daily. But I just thought, why is it a thing? Well, can't we change this? If you're listening to this, can't we change this? Can't there be, I feel like my community is a very safe space and I'm very proud of that. I'm actually meeting some of them on Saturday. A few people coming into London. Some have never been. Planes, trains and automobiles are headed this way on Saturday and I'll be meeting them all. I can't wait. I'll be putting the photos up on social media. But yeah, I'm very lucky in my community, but there are some bad spaces, aren't there? And yeah, a little bit of Call of Duty. It's like I open the floodgates. I open the floodgates of hell, putting up a Call of Duty clip. Oh, so leave a nice positive comment on that if you fancy going and taking a look. Let's kill them with kindness. Right, I'm going to wrap it up there, I think, because that's my first ever podcast. I feel very proud of myself for actually listening to my Notion app and doing it. I hope you've enjoyed it. I don't really know where I'm going with this other than the fact that you're going to get my ramblings every 2 weeks about gaming, content creation and the gaming industry. And yeah, I'd like to hear what you want to talk about. So at me on social media, at Hollywood Jays. If you tweet me and say you listen to the podcast, I'll follow you back so you can DM me and let me know what you want me to tackle. And if whatever podcast this ends up on, whichever you're listening to, if you could give it a little rating, that would be lovely. So I can know if I'm doing okay. But I'll leave you with that. If I had fancy outro music right now, it would be playing. But as I said again, if you're a whiz with catchy, nice, non-intrusive intro and outros for Spotify, do let me know. Have a great week, everyone. Enjoy content, enjoy games, and I'll see you next time. Bye.